So SB19 canceled their Singapore concert. So it seems that there is some truth to the rumor that they are going through some legal issues about the use of SB19, the name. Did you know that there's actually a Korean boy band that left their company? They did not gain the rights over their name. They continued promoting, but they never changed their name. Shina, when they left SM Entertainment, they actually never gained the rights to the use of their name, but they did not change their name. They just continued promoting. Now, I can't say that that's the same case as SB19's case right now because I don't know the whole story. My information is really based on what is being communicated to me by other fans and few limited reading materials that I have. And that is at best third-hand information. In general, it seems that the former management company of SB19, ShowBT, is claiming rights over the name SB19. That's all I know. And that's probably incomplete. And I'm not sure if that is accurate. So what I'm about to say is more an expression of frustration, I guess, as a fan, as a Filipino, and as a human being who has seen something like this happen to so many artists, not just Filipino artists, but artists globally. So I guess you can call this an attempt to be as level-headed as possible so I can hold on to something logical instead of spewing hate, because I don't know the whole story anyway, so I don't have any reason to spew hate because I don't know the whole story. But so before I continue, I hope that we can get some things clear. What is legal is different from what is moral, and what is moral is different from what is practical. So when I talk about something legal, it doesn't mean that I think it's moral. If I talk about something that is right or whatever, it doesn't mean that it is legal. And just because something is moral, it doesn't mean I think that's practical. Okay. If you end up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe and hit that notification button so that you know when there's a new video getting published. And of course, share the video if you can, because that's really helping my channel. Agreement with ShowBT about the name. I would like to think that SB19 had some sort of an agreement with ShowBT before they started promoting as SB19 after leaving the company. What we don't know is what kind of an agreement that is. But whatever that may be, it has to be honored. Copyright and trademark isn't a blanket one. You actually have to apply for the use of that name in different formats, promotions, merchandise, whatever. So whoever owns it needs to be compensated for it, and whatever arrangement they may have over the use and the application of those trademark and copyright needs to be honored. And if it is unreasonable, then it has to go through proper channels before it can be changed. I know some of you will ask, why does it matter? SB19 is Pablo, Stel, Ken, Josh, and Justin. They are the ones that made the name. The name didn't make them. But the same laws that protect the five boys is also the same laws that protect as ShowBT. Remember that that's their money they invested initially. They need to be compensated for it. They also have families to support, employees to pay, and their employees actually have families to support as well. So whatever arrangement and agreement they had, that has to be honored. But if it is unreasonable, then it just has to go through proper legal channels before it can be changed. ShowBT deserves to be compensated. ShowBT deserves to be compensated. I don't question that. They put some money in training, promoting the five boys. No matter how hard the things that Pablo, Stel, Ken, Josh, and Justin went through, it still contributed to who they have become. However, the compensation, of course, has to be reasonable, not just for them, but for all parties concerned. They cannot milk the five boys for all their worth. I'm not saying that that's what they're trying to do. What I'm saying is that they do deserve to be compensated, but the compensation has to be reasonable. SB19 is Pablo, Stel, Ken, Josh, and Justin. I don't know the agreement. I don't know the legal aspect, but I know that morally, they deserve to be given full rights over their name. In South Korea, when an entire group leaves the company, the group can actually claim the rights over their name. They will need to pay the company for that name, but the court will require the company to sell the name to the group. And the court will actually oversee the sale, how much the company will get paid and whatever. In the US, I think there were several cases in the past that when the artist actually sued the management company for the rights over their name. NSYNC is actually one of them. When they left Lou Pearlman, they took him to court for the rights over their name. Now, Perlman actually settled out of court. It doesn't mean that someone lost or whatever. It's just the more practical way of dealing with lawsuits here in the US. You try to settle it out of court, which they did. NSYNC regained gained the rights over their name. Now, this is in recognition of the rights of the person, regardless of whether it's an artist or whoever, but just the person who's actually working to build the name, and the need of the person to continue making a living out of the name that they have built and the skills that they have developed. This is just common humanity. This is the most basic of a worker's right, a person's right to earn a living. SB19 has been building the name. They should be given full rights over it so that they can continue making a living out of the name that they have built and the skills that they have developed in relation to the name. Why can't ShowBT voluntarily give the rights to SB19 for the name? I don't know. Maybe they want to be compensated for it. Maybe the agreement was violated. Maybe they want to set an example for future artists that they can't just pack up and leave. I understand their need and desire to make a revenue out of their investment. I don't necessarily agree with how they're doing it, at least based on my perception, but I understand. Everyone who makes an investment should, on something that is good, should make a revenue. But they have absolutely no legal obligation to voluntarily turn over the name. If they do so, it would be a personal, moral decision, not a legal one. They can if they want to. Why they don't want to, I don't know. This really represents a bigger issue. The Philippine music industry seems to be on the cusp of a reawakening, and SB19 is actually leading the charge. Management companies in the Philippines seem to be using the K-pop model in their training and management system. And that industry, while it has a lot of good qualities, it also has a lot of toxic qualities. And that includes many artists being abused and treated unfairly, to say the least. I hope that we can learn from their painful experience. I hope that we don't have to go through the experience ourselves before we learn the lessons. They've already learned it. They've already experienced it. I hope we can just learn from it. One of the biggest lessons is their court setting a reasonable requirement to make sure that the management company regains their investments, and of course they make money. They get a fair chance at recovering their initial investment, but also the artists will eventually have the freedom to maximize their own earning. And they did that by setting at a minimum commissions that are tipped towards the management company's favor in the initial contract term. This is to allow the management company to recover their initial investment. If they don't recover, of course, that's not going to inspire the company to continue investing, and that's not going to benefit anybody. So the laws were designed so that it gives the company fair chance to recover their investments and make money. But also, the maximum contract was set to 7 years to ensure that the artists actually can renegotiate their contract so that it tips to their favor and maximize their earnings while they are still young enough to do so. Korea had gone through several high-profile cases before they got to that point. We have the luxury of not having to go through that painful experience just to learn the lesson. I hope that we can start instituting laws like that in order to protect and nurture the industry. So what are the options of Pablo, Stel, Justin, Josh, and Ken? This is just my opinion, and I'm not claiming that these are the only options that they have. This is just my opinion. First is that they can fight for the name. They can continue fighting, and if they win, they are going to benefit from it, but other artists will also benefit from it because it's going to set a precedent for the court to recognize the rights of an artist. It may also inspire the revisiting of our outdated copyright and trademark laws and the laws of the entertainment industry. The negative is that it's going to be expensive. That's one. Second is that it's going to be emotionally and mentally agonizing. And that may take their ability or time to create music, and that's what they do best, art. They may also have a period of time when they won't be able to promote, at least not using the name. That's what happened to Shina when they left SM Entertainment because they didn't have the rights over the name. They just continued promoting actually, but they did not use the name Shina. The second option is for them to change their name. SB19 is popular not because of the name, but because of Stel, Pablo, Justin, Josh, and Ken. Without them, that value, the value of the SB19 name, is not going to be sustained. Will this give ShowBT the opportunity to give that name to somebody else, and then that somebody else is going to benefit from the value that our five boys gave the name? Sure, in the beginning, but the value of that name comes from the five boys and their skills. Without them, the value of the name is going to get depleted. They may also set another kind of precedent, a boss move of some sort. Let the company fight for the rights over something whose value will not be sustained. It's going to prove to the world, especially to those that are planning to do this, that without the artist, the name is nothing. Whatever they decide to do, I'm going to support. Is it going to be a PR and a marketing nightmare? Sure. But they can also spin it to their favor. They can call the attention of the world and make people realize that this problem exists, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world. Whatever option they go for, it will have pros and it will have cons. But my support is unconditional. I am frustrated. This is the reason I did this. I tried to be logical because first and foremost, I do not know the entire story, so that I have no right to actually make any kind of judgment. I definitely don't have the right to spew hate, right? So I tried to be as reasonable as possible. I do feel when I first heard it, I'm like, why can't you just give the freaking name? It's not like they're not doing anything for the entire country, right? They're doing something for the entire country. They're helping all artists. They're breaking down barriers in the global music industry. But again, I don't know the entire story, so I have to check myself. It is unfair because, as I've said, SB19 is the one that's breaking barriers, but they're also the ones that are taking the hit. They're getting bruised. They're getting beaten up. But I'm also hopeful. Very, very hopeful. I know that Pablo, Stel, Josh, and Justin, and Ken will make the right decision. And it's going to change things for the better. Because they're good people, they are smart people, and that they are talented. They are going to change things for the better, not just for them, but for all Filipino musicians. In the meantime, I'm just going to do what I can do, and that is to continue supporting them. And I hope that you do too. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave them in the comment section below. If you ended up liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe and hit that notification button so that you know when there's a new video getting published. You can say anything that you want to say in the comment section below. Just make sure that you do so respectfully. You can also get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now. And share the video if you can. I am very, very thankful for you, grateful for you. I appreciate you. Thank you.